Hello everyone. Today I am at the corner of Lawrence and Blossomfield. Otherwise, I am at Lawrence Allen Center. Here we have a nice old Canadian Tire and things like Pizzaville and Tim Hortons. And someone keeps honking there, like Jesus, the traffic's not gonna stop just because you lay on the horn. People can be so dumb or naive. This is the northeast corner of Lawrence and Blossomfield. And I know that you've read the title by now, but we are heading north to Yorkdale Mall. Via not the standard route. Actually, the route is going to be much shorter than if I took Dufferin Street. But we're going to start here on Blossomfield and just head on north. And this traffic is nothing short of amazing, eh? Anywho, we start on Blossomfield and we're just gonna head north here. There's sort of like a windy road called Flemington Park. And as we go from one mall to another, feel free to comment below which mall is your favorite. Or what mall do you have in your city that you like to frequent? I'm excited to hear all the thoughts and comments down below. On that note, please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. And check out the super thanks or super chat below, whether you're on the premiere or just watching as a video. I also have a Patreon where this video will be available in full quality. And I also do check out my socials, my Instagram account, where I seldom post somewhat interesting content, mostly previews of videos or announcements if I'm doing a special live stream. But we are still south of the Highway 401. That can sort of serve as a landmark of where we are in relation to downtown Toronto. We are certainly uptown. This is in the Lawrence Dufferin neighborhood. Oh, Lawrence Allen, depending if you count the Allen Road, a highway or a road connecting neighborhoods at this point. And some people on the road need to just open their eyes. A lot of crashes can be avoided if only you pay attention. That guy has some peculiar wheels for a Lincoln. But on this walk, until we reach Yorkdale, it's quite literally all just residential. I don't even think we're gonna pass the school in the area. So that's always a nice walk in my opinion. You know, we like to see the skyscrapers of Toronto. But sometimes the suburbs are well suited for a relaxing watch, especially if you're just trying to detox after work or such. Whip one of those videos on the TV and just sit back and relax. So here we are at Flemington Road. And we'll turn left here on Flemington in order to continue north, of course. And Flemington ends at Renee. Renee is a bigger street than all of these. But there are some more smaller roads we can take once we pass Renee. Once we get to Yorkdale, we'll be sort of on the back side. There's not really a big entrance to Yorkdale apart from the north side by Cineplex, and I guess the east side would be kind of the best view, I would say. It's all really surrounded by roads and two big highways. But the subway entrance is probably the main entrance. There's just so many at Yorkdale and so many parking lots as well, and it's kind of hard to tell. But what I think is, for everyone, there can be a main entrance if you're going to a specific store. So this is Flemington Road, and here's something I don't see that often, although I see it sometimes. It's a big school bus in a private driveway. Obviously, it's not their personal vehicle. That's pretty funny. It's a massive bus to park on a house like that. Here's a very short road, Stockton. We'll continue past it. We could take Stockton and sort of do a shortcut, but I'd rather finish off Flemington. There's nothing really of interest on Stockton anyway. There. We have one condo of considerable size on this stretch, and it sort of looks like a hospital, but you can see that from the Yorkdale subway station. just as you're leaving Yorkdale, you'll see these condos. They are right over top the Allen Expressway. So perhaps living on the east side of them is not the greatest. You know, you have all the road noise and the subway noise all the time. But living on this side, I think would be pretty agreeable. Of course, I'm kind of a sucker for big malls. You know that the Toronto Eden Centre is kind of my home. So I do like the placement, but I don't really enjoy how it looks. It's all right though, as always, personal preference in these kinds of matters. And we're approaching Renee. I am actually looking on the map, and Renee passes under the Allen Expressway. But we're gonna take a sort of interesting route here. So we're gonna take Renee. We're gonna go west along Renee. We're turning left, that means. And there's a little parquet, or I guess it's not a parquet, but it's a pretty small park that sort of allows us to pass onto a smaller street, which gets us closer to Yorkdale without going on to Dufferin. And then we'll just have to take Dufferin a little bit until Yorkdale Road. And here is Renee. So you can see the subway I was mentioning. These condos are visible just past Yorkdale Station. And right there is the station, actually. You can see kind of the glass roofing. And I think I'll have to run because I couldn't press the button there. Some of the perks of construction is blocking off accessible buttons. But we're now westbound on Renee. We are headed right towards Dufferin. And we are so close to our destination. There's the Congregation Melech Yisrael, Jewish church. So my plan for Yorkdale is once we are on Yorkdale Road, which kind of just wraps around to the mall, I'll take Yorkdale Road back to the subway station, and we'll get to check out that sort of main entrance, but not really. You'll see what I mean. This is Highland Hill. Highlands, plural. Highlands Hill. And if you look close enough, just past the fence, you'll see the mall. And if you're driving and you don't want to, bother with parking and all that, just drive around the mall to air quotes backside, but south entrances, and that's where you'll get to the valet part. And the valet is only $20 per vehicle. It's really not bad at all, unless you add tip. And if I speak of personal experience, those guys are very nice that operate valet. They'll certainly take good care of your vehicle. And if you're coming to a mall like Yorkdale to use valet, you might as well add a tip. But here we are at the park, and I forget its name. I don't walk through this area often on my own, as I'm usually on the transit or by car. But we'll take this diagonal path, and this is literally just called Renee Park. Easy, nice and simple. Renee Park at 326 Renee Avenue. You can actually sort of see the signage for Joey Restaurant at Yorkdale here. And fortunately, or unfortunately, there's a giant fence dividing the houses' backyards in Yorkdale Road. And the only unfortunate part about that is that I can't necessarily just shortcut through to the mall. But hey, privacy matters. Anyway, we are on Glen Bell Boulevard, I think, or Avenue. Glen Bell something. And there in the distance is Dufferin Street. We'll take Dufferin just a few steps until the pedestrian walkway to Yorkdale Road. And then we'll basically walk the entire length of what we've done so far, but along Yorkdale to the main entrance. So here we are coming up on Dufferin. You'll see there are a lot of new condo developments here. Specifically in the past couple of years before COVID. There's been those 3 towers that have been under construction for I think it's been like 4 years or something by now. It was kind of delayed by the pandemic, unfortunately. But they look pretty much done by now. And here's an Esso gas station. And like I said, just a couple steps until the passenger walkway. I'm sorry, pedestrian. I'm used to speaking in vehicle terms. Pedestrian walkway. So we are now on Yorkdale Road. Which I guess, if it wasn't so big, it could be called a crescent. Because it all just goes in a big loop around the mall. There's a Scotiabank here at the entrance. There's another side entrance. Like I said, there's just so many entrances. I don't think there is a main. But if it was, then it would be the one that I'm walking to by the subway. There's a Sporting Life, and of course, just a whole array of luxury retailers and super nice restaurants. There's also, of course, a food court. But I've done a Yorkdale walkthrough before. I've even done a live stream in Yorkdale, so for a tour inside, just go ahead and look back at my channel, or if you're on a desktop, you can go to youtube.com and just search Yorkdale Destination Travels. And on the left side here is the valet I was mentioning. They usually got some more nicer cars in this parking lot, but it's a Tuesday, so oh well. They do have 2 G-Wagons, so that's just all right. And before you say anything about how there's so many parking spots and so many cars and it's always busy. I just wanted to mention the sidewalks. For Toronto being a car city, and this mall being so outside of the downtown area, it is very walkable. I'm certainly enjoying the nice vast sidewalk here. And if you've noticed, there's plenty of benches as well outside the mall. So if you want to enjoy the nice weather, but you want to be close to your favorite Gucci or Prada, or your local Tesla dealership, you can come chill at Yorkdale. All welcome. Right in front of us, the road ends, it seems. But while Yorkdale Road curves to the left to continue around the mall, right in front of us is actually the Allen Road Expressway. And the Yorkdale TTC subway station on line 1, University side. There's a 47B Lansdowne to Queen bus that departs from the Yorkdale bus terminal. The Yorkdale bus terminal also has stops for the GO Transit buses, as well as your Ontario North connection. That's of course the Ontario Northland buses, and those go way, way beyond Barrie. You'll take it to North Bay, you'll take them to Sudbury, and you'll take them way beyond that. So this is actually a pretty good terminal. It's north enough of the city to have free parking in spots, but it's also within the city enough to have such good connections. And then of course you have the subway, which will lead you anywhere you like with the power of bus terminals. Here we are at the entryway to Allen Expressway. That's of course headed back to Eglinton. And the bridge over top that you can see with a glass roof, that's what was a nice bridge from Yorkdale subway station, is now a little bit dirty, you could say. But they should, in my opinion, make it even more accessible via elevators without having to cross the street. And there is that, air quotes again, quote unquote, main entrance to Yorkdale. It does have a way in to the parking lot, but it also has TTC buses stop here, and it's fairly close to the GO bus terminal as well as the subway bridge. So that will end off our video today. Let me see if I can get the sign in the shot here. Here we are at Yorkdale. As always, I will catch you in the next one. And ciao for now.